Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jay McInnes, and it's been 1 month, one whole month. Al has been working away. I've been on a beach for 1 month. And we're now back perfectly in time for the beloved monthly market update of December 2023. Clearly looking at the numbers of November 2023. And it's a little bit interesting out there. It's a little toned down. Things are happening in specific segments, which we'll get into. But much of the same. What did Ben used to say? Some weird foreign muchness. Clearly makes no sense. But anyway, so we'll go into some current events, then the market update, and then some other current events. No, we'll do the market update first, then current events. So today, I'm just gonna jump into the things that I think matter, as usual. So for the downtown market, I'm gonna be talking downtown and west side. Downtown market, we're in a generally balanced market at 12% sales to active listing ratio absorption for the entirety of the downtown market. The most active price range in the downtown market is the 400 to 500 range. Not overly surprising, typically held for first-time buyers and investors, which that is still going. Not a massive amount of sales taking place in that range, but that is the highest range in downtown right now. And just for some exact perspective, 400 to 500, that's only 6 sales out of 20 listings in that range, 400 to 500. So that's a 30% sales ratio, very strong sellers market. That's the strongest sellers market we have in downtown. Strongest buyers markets, so the slowest markets, homes over 5 million, homes in Cole Harbour, and 2-bedroom homes are all what, if you need to buy now, that should be the focal point where you're gonna get the most leverage, as those are the strongest buyers markets in downtown Vancouver. Now, strongest sellers market, again, studios to 1 bedrooms, obviously in that 400 to 500 price range, and the West End. If you're a seller in the West End, you got a studio or a 1 bed, the numbers are on your side. Detached west side market, buyer's market in general, again, 10% sales ratio across the board. Most active price range 3 to 3.5 million, which is 30% sales ratio. Again, extremely strong sellers market, 3 million to 3.5. Strongest buyer's market, you have to buy detached right now, and it has to be, as it obviously should be, on the west side. Homes at minimum 7.5 million. Just an easy first-time home buyer segment there. Homes in Quilchena, Southwest Marine, Shaughnessy, South Granville, and Southlands. And homes with 7 bedrooms or more are your best options today with the most leverage as a buyer. And seller's market, if you need to get out and you want the leverage on your side, the beloved Point Grey, South Cambie, and 5 to 6 bedroom homes are the hottest sellers markets right now on the west side of Vancouver. So that's all I'm gonna go into there. I'm not gonna go into the 10 years or any of this big picture stuff. Generally speaking, going into our current events, December 6th, Bank of Canada met today. They held the rates for the 3rd meeting in a row. That's the 3rd month in a row. So when they held it last time, I expected a little more uptick in the market, which we didn't see. And now obviously it's already December, so there's a lot of people we're already talking to. Okay, let's just wait till the first week, second week of January, Christmas, blah, blah, blah. Let's just write off the rest of the year. Not that deals can't happen through the duration of the year, but it's definitely not the peak time. So why not exclude that week that we would burn anyway over Christmas and just start the beginning of January. So rates have held. Inflation's at 3.1, which again, as I've commented before, they just pick and choose their baskets. So I think that's kind of irrelevant, but that's what the news is focusing on, which most people is the extent of most people's research into that. So yes, rates are held again at 5. Your fixed rates have been coming down, bond yields have been coming down. So obviously, as we know, the bank policy rates is 5%. This hits variable, and then the bond market details that you hear hits the fixed rate market. So those are two different benchmark information points which work on either side of that. So rates held again, so I'm hoping this time that picks things up a little bit and gives a little peace of mind into early next year. And we hope that the buyers start to come out again slowly in droves and start playing the game. What the hell was I gonna say?
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Okay, that is the update for the rates. So again, oh, that's what I was gonna say. What we're seeing, obviously crystal balling, pie in the sky stuff, is that the market seems to be pricing in assumed rate decreases taking part or beginning Q2 next year, and then the majority of the economists I have heard speak are thinking Q2, Q3. My guess is going to be just that. They've been highlighting in the meeting today, of course, that okay, the rates have worked their way through, are working their way out. You don't have this crazy demand for everything anymore, so it's working, it's worked. I think that's been blatantly obvious from the real estate side with regards to people wanting to go borrow that money at these rates, but that's that. And yeah, we'll see. I think Q2, Q3 next year, we'll start to finally see that decrease off. As we touched on, well, over a month ago now, we're still not seeing any of these dramatic foreclosures or foreclosure numbers or anything like that. So loan loss provisions from the banks have been exceeding up and up and up to cover themselves, but we're not seeing that worst case scenario, houses getting foreclosed on and all that sort of stuff yet. I don't think we will see it personally. Time will tell. So that's that. In other news, current events, the attack on the single family home and the single family zoning of Vancouver continues. As we all know, last month we got the blanket approval for the missing middle density plan, which gives excess density to all residential lots in Vancouver. Duplexes, fourplexes, sixplexes, whatever you're gonna do, laneways and all that sort of stuff. So that's done now. So you can now do that. Obviously, the building of things has not ramped up yet. The city can try and implement all these reasons to get additional housing, but at the end of the day, builders aren't building because the mass majority of our market is a private market, building sector, Jesus, and they're not building because money's too expensive still. So all these things will be waiting for them and ready when the cost of money and the rates come down. But again, we've now got a new proposal which will be passed, as all of this stuff is kind of off the cuff, just getting thrown out there and done. Keep in mind, a big piece of this, which we're gonna touch on later on this too, the missing middle stuff. I think one of the biggest issues that is gonna come from this when the prices of money comes down and these developments start to roll out, is that parking. They don't need on-site parking. So when you've got houses, east side, west side, very common, much more on the east side with basement suites, and you've got a second family living there, in theory, it's 2 sets of cars now for each house, and then you start doing stuff like this, you start adding duplexes, fourplexes, sixplexes to these lots, you're going to get a huge issue with street parking. Not everyone, a lot of people want to go green, and that's fine when it's convenient for them and it's sunny out and you can bike, but when it's raining, obviously those bike lanes are vacant, people need cars. It's a very car-oriented city. If you've gone to London, New York, Tokyo, get on the SkyTrain, everything's easy. It's a web of SkyTrains everywhere. Vancouver is a little bit more deficient in that regard. So you basically still got a very car-oriented city, and I think from all this density that they're kind of off the cuff, get it out, look, we're doing something, that one little detail of parking left behind is gonna cause big problems in the future. But we're gonna dive into the next aspect of that, which is this new transit hub density situation. So basically, Well, I'll just read it out here. For all SkyTrain stations in Metro Vancouver, municipal governments will be required, now this is the province now, they've pulled density powers away from the municipalities and they've taken it up a notch to the provincial level, and the provincial level is now dictating down, this is what we're gonna do, or this is what you're gonna do. Municipal governments will be required to allow minimum residential heights of up to 20 stories for sites within 200 meters of SkyTrain stations, up to 12 stories for sites between 201 and 400 meters from a station, and up to 8 stories for sites 401 to 800 meters from a station. So what does this mean? This means a lot of things. My first go-to is, okay, property, this is gonna include thousands of homes that are within these massive radiuses of all of these SkyTrain stations all the way out into Metro Vancouver. Property taxes. So your property taxes are based on the highest and best use for your lot. And when you have a single family home built on a single family zoned lot, that's the highest and best use. So the house price, if you've looked at an assessment or you own, obviously, your land value assessed will do what it does, typically increase. The house price, as they get older, obviously diminishes. The houses get older. The city doesn't always know that people have done renovations and blah, 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 but in theory, as it gets older, the house price goes. As we move on, the land price exceeds. So when it's zoned single family, highest and best use is single family land price. All the comps are as such because it's such a straightforward and blanket zoning that we do have across Vancouver here. Now, if you can build, obviously details aside, a developer would have to come and parcel these lots together but if you can build 20 stories on your lot, a single family, nice little rancher, 2-3 floor house, no matter how new it is no longer the highest and best use. Now, the highest and best use is 20 stories. When you're within that first realm of radius. So that is gonna push the taxable assessed values of these homes way up. We've heard of cases in the Canby corridor when that densification took place and that plan got laid out, that property taxes doubled for a lot of those people because they can do townhomes or low-rise properties there. These guys, when you can do high-rise properties, it would be essentially just like having a house in the middle of downtown when you've got towers all around you, and that lot is doable, that land is usable for that, and you've just got a single family home on it. So a little different from that, but you get what I mean. The highest and best use now overnight has been converted. So that's great if you're happy to sell and a developer comes knocking, which they're not going to for a while. Keep in mind, this stuff is still going to be comparative. So it probably won't start showing up for as taxes are assessed or the numbers are built in whatever, July, assessed for the end of the year. So that's done this year. Next July it'll be done. Do they have actual comparables that they're gonna go through with this? So in probably 2 years, I would say, we're really gonna probably start seeing these details come up, assuming these developers come in and start doing so. But they will need to obviously do that, come in, parcel, build, and then those comps will then play out for the other people. So that's fine if you're waiting there and you're ready to go and whatever, but if you've just purchased or have purchased a home that you don't want to leave and now your taxes go up, then it's a problem. Now people are going to say, well, your assessed value's gone up, you can sell. You can sell in these circumstances only if you are selling to a developer. And again, they're very sensitive. As we've seen, development has slowed right down for a variety of reasons, but the main one being the cost of money, that they are actually going around and knocking on doors trying to build, which they're not doing right now. So in the meantime, I think we're gonna see a big issue, and I think we can all, by now, if you've seen the videos before, know my sentiment towards further taxation. I think it's a complete cop-out and just further screws with everyone. But anyway, if you can't afford the taxes, of course people are gonna say, boo-hoo, go sell your X million-dollar home, but it's just forcing people to either pay more taxes or get out, which I think is the biggest negative of this. So that's coming. And again, taxes are based on the zoning. They get an assessed value. The mill rate gets layered on top of that, which is the government's incompetent budgeting of how they're going to run the city, which is already forecasted to increase roughly 9 to 11% a year moving forward. So it's just more and more and more. So again, the attack on that single family zoning, for me personally, I think densification is great when done with focus, not blanket densification. I think that will do more damage than good, personally, to the fabric of these neighborhoods. All these artery streets, you see up Granville Street, they're putting townhomes in. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Those should be towers. There's 6 lanes of traffic there. There's no need to have a townhome open right up onto that street when they should very well be doing towers along there. So doing stuff like that makes a lot more neighborhood sense, I feel, than doing what they're doing with this. Again, it makes sense around what they're trying to do around the SkyTrains because of the transit hub, but I don't think this is the way to do it. Anyway, so that's how it will work. Assessed value will come in once those new numbers are determined, mill rate will be layered over that, and then the taxes go up. It will take some time, I believe, but there will be thousands of homes that will be affected by that, which I think is a negative. In addition to that, the mandating of transit-oriented development, the provincial government will require cities to, here we go again, eliminate minimum vehicle parking requirements for these areas. So now you've got these massive 800 radius square meters that they're also saying you don't need to put parking in, which will help reduce construction costs, speed up construction, reduce emissions, further increase public transit ridership. So decrease costs, you got high rise, they say, I don't know the exact numbers, they say roughly 20% of the cost of a development is in the excavation in the parkade building of said high rise. Let's assume that is correct. So, okay, 20% of that cost is now missing. So we're going to sell parkingless condos, which is a whole other circumstance of who's actually going to buy them. And in theory, the cost would be 20% less. This still in no way assists with affordable housing. And I think the blanket assumption that just throw it out there, the more housing, the better, is not what is needed, because the cost of building these homes in these areas and these land and these at this interest rate price with this lack of construction employees out there and about to be taken onto sites is just really not good. It's still all very much high-end costing real estate. So I don't think, and I think we can look at a variety of different conversations that the government has had, the CMHC has had, that we need much more built to actually generally bring the entire price point down. I just don't see that happening. I think it's structurally impossible now in reality, but anyway, these things they're doing, I just think are going to create another set of issues around these neighborhoods, and isn't really getting to the bottom of we need affordable housing. The only one that can build that is the government, and I mean, they're doing a good job of taking more taxation from us. Will they actually use it for that? Always yet to be determined. Okay, thank you, welcome back, and I will see you all soon. Comment below, like, subscribe. Would love to have conversations about any of this with you. Specifically, if you disagree, why you disagree with what I'm saying here, and your thoughts on the contrary. We'll see you soon.